What is up, people? This is the Oracle, and we are back at MTGO for a new Legacy Cube draft. Far Away is a card I haven't seen in quite a bit of time. I don't think it's great, but it's interesting to say the least. Ponder is always a very good option. Face Feathers, great removal. And I guess those are the cards I like the most here. I mean, Whirler Rogue is funny. Dismember is quite good. You can play it in any deck, though paying 4 life can be difficult. So outside of black, this is much worst. Pack is not super exciting. Might just pick Face Feathers. Uh, Ponder is also a very fine option. I don't know. I think I'll go with Ponder. I like playing blue. Ponder is just a very good card, very good cantrip. I think it's much better than Teferi or Far Away. And yeah, I'm fine picking that. Okay, so 2 blue lands, a Tundra and a Scalding Tarn. Both are interesting. Bruna is an interesting one. Especially since in the cube you have some pretty powerful angels to make come back, like maybe a Baneslayer or something along those lines. That being said, if they put Bruna and Gisela in the cube, they might have removed Baneslayer, so who knows. But I would assume that if they put Bruna, they also put Gisela. It's kind of weird otherwise. Deep Analysis, very good card, draw spell. Exhume is good if you are trying to reanimate stuff. Quite a lot of options here. I kind of like picking Scalding Tarn. I like Fixing. I like Blue-Red. I like Fetches with Ponder. Tundra would be another option. I don't know, I like Scalding Tarn though. But it's more of personal preferences. I like playing blue-red combo deck, and those two cards goes very well in this kind of deck, but obviously this is cube, so a lot of things are powerful, and I could see, picking some other cards clearly. Here I'm gonna pick Eugene, I think. Pretty good finisher. It means that I want to pick some sort of ramp, but it's very strong. None of the blue cards seems very good to me. Magma Jet is not great either. Necrotol is fine, but not exactly what I want. I guess Hero of Blade Hole could be an option. Had I picked Tundra, I would be maybe happy to pick Hero here. But I think Eugene is kind of interesting, and maybe we can make that work. That being said, I haven't seen much ramp in this cube outside of green, which always has ramp. So I'm not sure that, yeah, unless we are blue-green, that might be hard to cast. Taiga means that the Scalding Tarn fetch either blue or green, which, given the Eugene, could be interesting. The blue cards here, the green cards here are not super interesting. You have a bit of Burn, Exotic Firecraft, Char. Storm Chaser Mage is interesting, I would say. Maybe we can try to play a blue-red Delver spell deck with... Maybe we can get a Delver, Storm Chaser Mage, Young Pyromancer, and stuff like that. That could be funny. Kinda like picking Taiga, though. Again, I think Fixing is great and important, and Eugene kinda makes me feel like I might want to play green. By the way, I have a slight cold here, so yeah, if you hear me coughing or blowing my nose a couple times, I'm sorry about that, but I can have to do it if I don't wanna suffocate, I guess. I think Search for Tomorrow could be a good option here to go into that blue-green ramp deck. I don't really know how this will go, but I think we'll try to do that. Omnath could be funny too, but I think it's likely to wheel. Griselbrand probably the strongest card here. I guess I could pick that and see if Reanimator is open. But now that I pick Eugene, I kinda wanna try to make it good and try to ramp a little bit, so we'll see. We'll see. So there is Gisela, as I thought there would be. There's Chandra Pyromaster, which is weaker than the new Chandra from Kaladesh, which I think is just amazing, but that's not really particularly how do you say that? You know, I think this opinion is shared with many people anyway. It's pretty insane. And that one is weaker, but still quite good. Acidic Slime, I think, is a fine option in any green deck. I'm just gonna go with that. I like the slime. Okay, Choraga 3 Speaker. Pick, what, 7? Probably means that the green ramp deck is open, because it's one of the best green ramp spell, if not the best. Very good, it gives you the turn 3 5 mana. Obviously, if your opponent doesn't have any removal, but still very good. We'll pick that. And actually, I don't have to be blue. I picked that Ponder, but blue was not extremely open, so maybe in the end I will not be blue. Though I guess there's an upheaval here, which is one of the main reasons to be playing blue-green ramp in the cube. Sylvan Library is good, but I think upheaval is just so strong in a good ramp deck that we should just pick that and go into that direction. That's great. And since again it doesn't seem like there's many artifact ramp in this iteration of the Legacy Cube. I mean, obviously there are not the Signet, but I haven't seen many things. Like I haven't seen a Worn Power Stone or anything like that yet. Which means that Upheaval is pretty much only playable in the blue-green deck. Here I don't like anything. I guess Wheeler Rogue could be decent. It's a pretty good card. It does have, you know, 4 power on the board, spread into 3 creatures. I like it a decent amount. If I have some flicker effect, it could be decent. Don't think I will main deck that though in a ramp deck. Thragtusk is very good option for the side. Very main deckable too. Nothing I love here. I guess I'll pick Hero of Bladehold because it's the best card and the more threatening card. I don't want to play Genesis Wave. I just don't like that card. I don't think it's good. I'll pick Char here because I might want to splash for red, and the 2 other red cards are double red, so not very splashable. Omnath could be interesting. It's a good thing to ramp into. Nykthos can be interesting maybe. And a Magnificent Firebolt Pride Mage. Yeah. The picture of the Pride Mage have been messed up for me for more than 1 year now. I really don't know. Like, I don't know. If it comes from my computer, I don't really understand why it would be only on the Pride Mage. It's really weird, but oh well. Omnath, not so sure that I will play that, especially when I have a double blue here. That's a much better card to play with ramp, I think. But it's interesting. Ooh, Exclude is sweet. Probe is fine too. Elves of the Deep Shadow be a fine addition to the deck. Temple of Mystery too. But we will obviously, I would say, be picking Treachery, which is one of the best cards in the entire cube. At least the Legacy Cube. Very strong in our colors, good with ramp, just great. Okay. I haven't played with Sylvan Advocate yet. One of our ramp spell is you know, is a land ramp spell, I would call that. So ramp spells that give you more land, which is not the same as mana elves or stuff like that, and those makes Sylvan Advocate better. Not sure how good this is. I think it might wheel. I don't think we are an Eldrazi Monument deck. That card is pretty funny though. But either way, I think we want to pick Tamiyo. Tamiyo is just pretty good to ramp into. Like, I'd be happy to cast that on turn 4 of a Search or turn 3 of a 3 Speaker. It's just a pretty good card. Okay, I'm probably just picking Fyndhorn Elves here. I have one fetch which makes Brainstorm slightly better. Also, if you can chain Brainstorm into Ponder, you can get rid of things you don't like, but it's not great. But anyway, Brainstorm is still kind of weak unless you have more than 3 good ways to shuffle your library, I would say. And I need the cheap ramp, so yeah. Elf seems like a fine play. Ooh, Rampaging Baloth. That's a card I haven't seen in quite a bit of time. I don't think it's great though. Uh, but it's a funny one. Bloom Tender is interesting. You know that's a 2 mana elf because it's gonna produce green, if nothing else. And then it can produce 2 mana maybe if you have a Tamio or something like that. The other option being Edric, which is just a good card. Do I need more ramp or do I want Edric to make my elves, all my elves better? I don't know. Right now I don't have a ton of cheap elves and mana creatures, so I wonder if getting some more would not be a better option. Especially since this can produce 2, which is really good for Upheaval and Eugene potentially. I don't know, I think I'll go with Bloom Tender. But Edric might be a... I think Edric is the stronger card. But I think getting the ramp right now is slightly more important. Here we'll pick Arbor Elf. Jace is fine, but I need that more than a Jace, I think. Okay, a lot of interesting things in... Kiora is quite good, I like her. Especially when I have ramp and I can cast her pretty often on turn 3, I would say. Pilgrim would be fine. Wood Elf is pretty good. I think I like Wood Elf more than Pilgrim at that point, because I have already three 1 mana elves, and this is a weaker, it's not an elf, but I will call it a mana dork, if you will, just because the white is not really useful to this deck. Regross is fine too, Spellskite is fine too. I think the pick is between Wood Elves and Kiora. I really like Kiora, I think I want to try that out. Eldritch Evolution. Interesting. I don't really think I can make that work though. It's a pretty sweet addition to the cube, I'm not gonna lie, but the deck I'm playing right now don't want to play that. Especially since most of my late game threat are not creatures, so we'll pick Enchant Tomb, which is good ramp. Okay. Gilded Lotus? I like that. Works very well with Upheaval and Eugene. Cloudskate into the role, Sprawl would be fine, but I think this is just stronger and better. Exclude or Elves of the Deep Shadow. I think we want the Elf. I think we want the acceleration. This deck wants to tap out and play a bunch of things. I don't think this is a deck that wants to play counter spells, really. Eldrazi Monument is now looking interesting, almost. Like, if I get some more cheap creature, I might want to play that. It could be good in some matchups. I don't think I will splash for Geist or Greater Gargadon, so... I don't think I will main deck that, but I think it's the card I'm the more likely to play. Not a huge fan of Stratus Dancer, but... at worst, it's gonna be a good sideboard option. I guess there's a Stroke of Genius, which is good in ramp. So maybe that's the pick. Yeah, actually I like that a decent amount when I have enough mana. Ooh, I love Spell Pierce. Wharf Infiltrator, not a huge fan. I don't really see any archetype in which this is gonna be great. Rootbound Crag is nice. I mean, I don't really need or want to splash for red yet, but if I end up doing that, that could be good. Regross I think is a very good addition to any green deck in the cube. I put Search at 3 here, but it's obviously more of a 1-drop. But it doesn't really matter. Oh, there's Avacyn in the cube. First time I see her there. Pretty sweet addition. Elspeth, very good finisher. Liliana, sweet Planeswalker. Bunch of nice things. If it was pick 1, pack 1, that'd be hard. I think Archangel Avacyn is pretty strong. Not really the type of card I love playing though. I think I would first pick Elspeth. That's one of the best finisher I think with Grave Titan you can ask for in a control deck. Here I think we'll pick Farseek and we'll get some more ramp. Ooh, Avenger of Zendikar, Rothlos, Gaia's Cradle. Dragonlord Atarka would be a nice reason to splash for red. I think we'll pick Rufflos and hope to wheel one of these three cards. Dragonlord could interest some other people, especially since people seems to be pretty high on that card. I don't think it's actually good. I think if you are ramp and you have some easy splash for red, or you are already playing red, fine. Though red-green ramp is not a good archetype, I would say. I think you want to be either green-blue or mono-green ramp, or mono-green splashing for red, in case Atarka is fine. But I see people playing this in, you know, just a mid-range deck that plays creature from 1 to 7, and I just don't think it's something you should try to do in Cube. But either way, Rufflos looking pretty strong. Craterhoof Behemoth, I like that. I think I got to the point where I have enough cheap elves to make the Behemoth good. Garou Color of the Beast is interesting, but I think this is just stronger. Yeah. Ulamog, Green Sun Zenith, Eternal Witness. Impulse would be decent too. Keranos is a nice card to splash for. I think we'll pick the Zenith, especially since we got Craterhoof and we got Rufflos in the 2 last pick. That thing can fetch a mana elf if I need that, can fetch Rufflos, can fetch Craterhoof if I can win. It's just pretty good, and exactly what I want. I don't think I want to play Evolutionary Leap. We have 2 blue-red-green dual, I mean Ravland, I should say, which could be interesting. But I'm not even sure that I want to splash for red, really. I'm gonna pick Stomping Ground because it's a forest, so if I really want to splash red for some reason, it's nice that I can play that, and Taiga, and you know, those will count as forest, that I can fetch off the Scalding Tarn, which is nice, and that help me splash for red if needed. But Rufflos makes it even less likely that I want to splash for red. Primal Command is a card I like a lot. And there's nothing else for me. Ooh, Chandra Flamecaller would be a nice card to splash for. There's a Cyclonic Rift too, which I think is pretty good in ramp. Interesting. Might want to play that. I think I'll leave it in the side for now, though. Ooh, Devoted Druid. Some more mana elf is really good, especially since that one is great. It can produce 2 mana in 1 turn where you need it to produce more. Give you the, you know, the turn 3 5-drop, and I have some very powerful 5-drop, so just looking incredibly good in my deck. Don't think I want to play Master of Wave or Kira. Kira is kind of nice at protecting those elves, but I don't really need to protect them. And double blue is annoying. Master of Wave could be more interesting. At least it's a good option against red decks. Ooh, we will the Atarka, and I think we'll be splashing for that. The splash for red is easy enough, and the card is good enough that I think it's worth it. Not a huge fan of Sour. I think people are playing just too much removal in Cube for Sour to be good. Witness is great though. Love that card. And I think this is gonna be the main deck. And I don't think I want to change anything. Currently this is 24 spell. But since I have really a lot of mana, I think it's gonna be fine. I think I can afford to play 16 lands and be fine with that. We will not play Rootbound Crag though, just because it's a non-forest land, non-island land, non-forest, not non-blue producing land, I should say. And we want to make Rufflos good enough and play enough blue for the double blue spells we are playing. And I think Scalding Tarn, Stomping Ground, Taiga, Farseek, Search for Tomorrow is Gilded Lotus is way more than enough fixing for the Atarka. So I just need to add some land. Ancient Tomb I think gets a bit worse when you have Rufflos, so I'm still unsure about that one. The 2 mana could be really good though. It's a close call. It can be clunky early on the game when I'm trying to cast several green spells on the same turn, and this doesn't produce any colored mana, so I don't know. I think it's good, I'm not sure if it's gonna be... I think it could be clunky though. I think it has the potential to make some draw more clunky than good, and that's something I don't love. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to play 16 land. My only question is really, will that be helping me more than hindering my starts? And I don't know. I know that if I have Rothlos, I'd rather have a Forest over Enchant Tomb. I know that a hand with Couple Island and Enchant Tomb means I cannot cast some of my early plays, and I really need a lot of green. I think we have enough ramp, cheap ramp, and the curve is pretty stacked between 1 and 3 that we don't actually want to play that. It might be wrong, but I think it could cause us more trouble than good. But again, I might be wrong about that. I need a little bit more blue here. So this is 3 forest basically, if you will. If I do it this way, it's gonna be 11-6 plus the two things that fetch lands, for Seek and Search. 13-8 plus the Gilded Lotus. 49. That should be plenty to cast those double blue spells. And I think, yeah, 11 green should be good. It's good enough to make Rothlos. I mean, Rothlos producing 2 mana is already good. You don't really need... I mean, obviously when you can produce 6 mana on turn 3 because you have 3 forests, that's amazing, but... to be honest, I don't even have that many good 6 drops, so the... I mean, Rothlos is really good because if he can produce 2 mana on turn 3 and give me my 5 drop, but I don't even need him to be much more than that. And 11 forest should be good enough to have Rothlos producing 2 mana. I could see playing 1 less island, 1 more forest, but I also want to be able to cast those double blue spells on turn 5. Quite often, so we'll do that. I think that deck is pretty sweet and quite strong. Nice version of blue-green ramp. We have some really sweet finishers. Upheaval, Dragon Lord, Crater Hoof, Eugene, some of the best we can get. Some pretty sweet Planeswalker. And we have a bit of control over the board, which is nice. Like Kiora can deal with a Planeswalker or a creature for a little bit. Tamio 2, Treachery 2, Slime. Primal Command can be used on non-creature permanents. I guess this doesn't deal with Planeswalker, but that's still good. This deals with Planeswalker or creature, Upheaval, Bounce. Like, sometimes the risk when you are playing green ramp, blue-green ramp, is that you don't have any Rimfall, and if the opponent just manage to play something really good early on, like, just imagine a Gisela on turn 4, and you cannot kill them before they can just deal you 20 damage of flying. That's annoying, but I think this is really not an issue with that deck, so that's pretty nice. Really like the deck, seems very strong to me. Hope you guys enjoy the draft. If it's the case, feel free to drop a like. You can also leave a comment, share the video, or subscribe to the channel. All of these are appreciated, and I see you for round uno.